Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the video. This time is of the NECA Ultimate Armored Assassin, aka the Ultimate Predator from the movie The Predator. And gotta say, I love this piece. It's gigantic, it's strong, it holds weight well, it poses excellently. It's just one of those things where it continues that it shows that I've jumped on the NECA train late, but also at the perfect time. We had a really good time where predators are superposable and can destroy anything they hunt. And I'm here for it. I'm 100% here for it. But alas, I watched the movie when it came out. Wasn't too much of a fan of how the movie went, but I was a huge fan of the designs of both the Fugitive and the Armored Assassin. So I got these toys. Anyway, let's jump into how cool this guy is. The level of detail on this guy is actually pretty insane because for what, a $40 figure, I kind of get this really big, ultimately design colored Predator. It's hard to kind of explain because he doesn't have a biomask. He doesn't wear all the armor. He literally just has like the bulletproof skin and his blade and the plasma caster, and he goes to work. This guy goes to work, and it's one of those things where simple is actually really great here. The only thing that I was actually kind of confused by, I thought the skin color was different originally in the movie, but maybe it was my brightness settings. But I don't actually mind the blue skin because after taking photos of it, it was very, very beautiful. Like, this is one of those things that it actually just worked out with the color palette and the differences in it. So when you look at his face, let's try to get some more light on here. You can see the tiny little beady eyes, and it's done so well. And his locks, they are movable, so you don't have to keep it in the wind, but I kind of just like mine flowing in the wind. The mandible design is awesome, and I've always loved this design, so him not having the biomask is actually really fun and dope. One of the things that is probably my only gripe with the figure is the simple fact that the extra plastic here doesn't allow for the arm to go all the way up, but I worked my way around that. I even tried tucking it in a few times, and it goes a little further, but it's one of those things where I want to cut out that excess. I learned how to cut out the excess, so now I can have better range. But real quick, let's jump into articulation, the good, the bad, and the ugly on this big ugly, right? So the head can look up, has excellent range for looking up. Can even look like he's swimming. He can look down, which is really great because he's actually going to look down on pretty much everyone. He can tilt left and right, and the ball joint on this is really done well, so that way he has a ton of range. The arm, like I said, my gripe was that I can't get the arm to float all the way outward. So as you can see here, this is about as far up that it will go with these tucked in and even out. So let's say I take it out right here. As you can see, I wiggled some out. I get I get a ton more of extra room actually, see? So that's probably my only gripe because I have mine stuck in here on this side that I can't go a little further up. It makes this part look very ugly, but that's something I don't really mind because in photos you're gonna go him pretty much destroying xenomorphs and other predator. So I definitely got to work on getting that out of there. The arm is double jointed and has a forearm swivel. So as you can see here, and it has a very nice ball joint. Well, not a ball joint, but a ball peg, sorry. That actually allows him to press it forward. So even if he did have a biomask, he could reach his face to actually take it off. And it's just really cool. The wrist gauntlet is also movable. It rotates. And the right one carries the blade, while the left one carries the plasma caster. The mid torso articulation is actually very nice. He has a very nice wide ab range. As you can see here, it can rotate all the way left and right. It can tuck in, and it has a great range on the back. Oh man, this is so nice. So even if you wanted to do a pose like where he's yelling up, you know, howling or whatever it is, he can actually get that stance in really, really well. So as you see here, it looks good. So you can tuck the head a little forward, or you can tuck it out to yell. And as you can see, it'll still look very solid. NECA's sculpting has gotten immensely better. It's one of those things I'm really, really enjoying. Now, as far as the legs though, now the legs is where it gets a little tricky, and some people are going to have some trouble here, is that he does have very tiny feet. So here in the leg section, we have ratchet joints, as you can hear them. And they can spread all the way out. They go forward, they go back. Please be careful with the bumps on the leg. They're actually sharper than they look. So you can see the legs go pretty far forward. But he has a ton of range. So as you can see here, the knee is double jointed. Then you have an extra joint here that can go forward and or backwards. And then you have an extra toe joint that can actually go forward. The problem is, compared to his rest of his body, he looks like a goddamn centaur because his feet are so tiny. Thankfully, I enjoy posing, so I have patience for this, and although it was a challenge, I figured out a way to master balance him with ease. As you can see, no hands. I haven't balanced really, really well. So I've learned with practice. So it is going to be one of those things where you need to practice posing him and learn how to balance him. Even on my cricket diorama, because I've used it so much, I've learned how to balance him pretty well. So please, hopefully you have the patience for him, because if not, you will be frustrated. I'm warning you now. But it's really cool, because once I got it balanced, I learned to love him even more. But this figure is dope. It's plain and it's simple, but it has a certain elegance to it that just allows you to have fun. If you are a Predator fan, if you love the movies, if you read the comics, or even if you don't like it, this is something of design-wise and toy-wise you can really, really appreciate. So this is just, it's Funky Flash fun. The fun factor in this guy is just outstanding. So here, we're going to leave him like this. Nice and posed, looking good. We're going to talk about the very few and simple things that he comes with. So you do get an alternate head with the mandibles are out, which is beautiful. So if you want to eat your opponent's face, you can totally do that. It looks dope here. So this is just a really cool thing. Next up, you get his blade, which attaches at the right forearm. So let's do that here so you guys can see what's up. It just kind of just pops in. And it stays on really well. And it's semi-soft plastic, so you don't have to worry about it breaking. If it falls out, usually mine just pops out with no problem. So it doesn't have to worry about it breaking. I'm not saying it wouldn't, but I haven't had that problem yet. Then you have his tiny plasma caster, which is pretty strong. And this goes into the left gauntlet. You just kind of slide it in. And it just, voila, sits there. So again, he doesn't come with much, but he's about his business. Also, when you're not using your plasma caster, it has a storage mode. So as you can see here, it comes in this powered down storage mode. And the only other thing he comes with, besides those open hands, are 2 closed fists for punching holes in your opponent's heads. Right? So again, does not come with a lot, but it's one of those things where simple and elegant was the way to go here, and it's dope. Hopefully you guys will enjoy the photos that I do, because I've had a ton of fun taking them. This is one of those things where I've had a lot of fun, and I'm excited to get to it. I kind of want to just end it here. Don't even do a size comparison, just show you photos. But anyway, hopefully you'll enjoy. But what I am going to do is, I am going to give you a size comparison. I'm going to move this tree around. I'm going to back this guy up. And I just want you to know that he is slightly bent at the knees, but he still has a majority height over a ton of other characters. So let's keep that in mind, right? First thing I'm going to do is compare him to a xenomorph. And this is it standing fully up. And normally these guys tower over any and everyone. And he is tower over him even with his legs bent. So that says a lot right there. Next up, this is him next to the Fugitive Predator, which is a predator from the same movie. And size-wise, you can see this guy is no match next to him. Like, these guys are already the biggest in other lines. So compared to everything else, these guys don't even stand a chance against him. And he's slightly bent over. So that says a lot. So let's move these guys out of the way. Let's now compare 2 smaller lines. So I'm actually going to compare it to a larger Marvel Legends character, which is Ben Grimm, who usually towers over other Marvel Legends. And we see where this guy is at next to him. Here's with the top-notch Apollo, another character that's supposed to be bigger. Doesn't stand a chance against this guy in terms of size. Next up, we're going to do 1000 Toys Hellboy, because I just happen to have him out, and he's always lovely. And Hellboy's another character that's bigger than everybody else. Doesn't stand a chance against them, not in terms of height. Now we have all the smaller guys. Like, for instance, we have Kamen Rider Kuga. And as you can see here, he doesn't even come up to the halfway point. Then we have an Articulated Icons Ninja, who also doesn't even come up to the halfway point. These are like you being a big cousin and you picking on your little cousins. This is exactly what this is. This is you just picking on them in terms of height. And I was always the little cousin because I was always small. Here we are with a 1000 Toys Synthetic Human. And as you can see here, he would tear all these guys to shreds because, you know, he would just pick on them from a faraway distance. Next up, we're going to choose a Mafex Justice League Tactical Suit Batman. This one has the head from Bruce Wayne. So if it looks different, that's exactly what that is. It is the bonus part head from Bruce Wayne. And as you can see here, even the Mafex doesn't stack up in terms of height. Next up, we have a Marvel Legends Spider-Man. So here's Spider-Man. And as we can see, normal lines are just not going to be anywhere near it for him. And next up, we have the Hasbro Lightning Collection, the White Ranger. These guys, he could just pat these guys on the head and call it a day. All right. Next up, we're going to do a few Mezcos, and that's going to be the Mezco Sovereign Knight, which I took a few photos with it of. Let's get you standing straight up. And even Batman doesn't stand a chance because he didn't even get prep time. Last but not least, we have Mezco Gomez with my head on it to show you a little bit of a size difference. So as we can see here, the Armored Assassin pretty much, he's the biggest one there is. There's no telling me. He's Andre the Giant compared to these guys. Overall, this piece, I gotta say, once you heat up the joints, you cut out the excess for the little arm piece, and you probably have one of the perfect Ultimate Assassin Predators. This is just one of those things where simple was the way to go, and it's lovely. One of the gripes that outside of my preference is the tiny feet. I don't mind the tiny feet. It gave me a challenge, but I know for a lot of other people, this is going to be a problem. You may want to mod it, maybe cast bigger feet. Hopefully that's what a bunch of people will do if you want that. But if not, I still think it's a piece that you should totally have. Anyway, guys, I do hope you enjoy. Hope you found it informative. Most of all, hope you do good, be good, drink your water, guys. Later.